latest on those escaped killers. A new prison worker arrested overnight. This guard accused of giving the convicts contraband. As the threat from this public emergency grows, new fears. The men may now be armed with hunting rifles as teams continue their frantic search for them. ABC's Lindsay Janis starts us off in Owl's Head, New York. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Robin. Police believe the men may be heavily armed, stealing guns from that cabin where they were hiding out or from others in the area. They are warning people they are extremely dangerous and cunning. This as a second prison employee faces charges over their escape. Overnight, corrections officer Gene Palmer seen leaving court in this video from local station WPTZ, out on bail after being charged with 2 counts of tampering with physical evidence, promoting prison contraband, and official misconduct.
The allegations is that he provided needle nose pliers and a screwdriver to the inmates. He would take Sweat or Matt in the catwalks behind their cells.
The 57-year-old on paid sick leave before his arrest, allegedly delivering frozen hamburger meat to convicted killer Matt with those tools hidden inside on behalf of Joyce Mitchell, a prison shop worker who's been charged with aiding the escapees. Officials say Palmer accepted gifts from Sweat and Matt, those gifts allegedly including paintings like these, in exchange for bringing contraband to the 2 inmates.
He removed those from the facility. At Palmer's residence, he actually was burned some of the paintings to avoid the investigators from locating them.
Over the weekend, investigators questioning Palmer for 14 hours, telling us he was cooperating with authorities.
I'm here on my own free will to help and assist.
Palmer's lawyer speaking out overnight, saying his client was not in on the escape plot.
He passed the polygraph test. He had no knowledge that these 2 individuals were going to attempt an escape.
Alleging instead that Palmer had been duped by his co-worker Mitchell, who has pleaded not guilty. This, as a former inmate who worked at the prison shop with Mitchell 3 years ago, reveals new details about the alleged relationship between the 51-year-old mom and Sweat.
He acted like he knew Joyce for years. She'd bring him things like food. She'd bring him art supplies. We used to call her his boo.
Eric Jensen telling us it was not unusual for guards to bring contraband to prisoners they liked.
Corrections officers would go hunting and bring in the deer meat for some of the inmates. They'd give it to them, they'd cook it. Sometimes, they'd share a bowl of food with the inmates. That's how close a relationship some of these officers have with some of the guys in there.
Police say when Palmer gave the prisoners access to that catwalk behind their cells, it may have helped them scope out their escape route. Meanwhile, the search continues. No significant leads in 6 days.